Yo, what's up? We're back. Hi, hello, how are you? Good to see you. I'm going on tour. I want to make sure you guys know about it. The day you're seeing this, which happens to be the day I'm recording this, by the way, if you're one of the real ones and watching it the day it comes out, my big LA show is on Friday. So if you live in LA, there's still some tickets left. Looking like it could sell out. Looking good, so I wouldn't wait if you're waiting to buy tickets. And then next week, I'm coming to Sacramento and San Francisco. So stoked for those shows. I've talked about the San Francisco show. It's a hometown show, the club I grew up going to. Can't wait for that one. And then I'm gonna run through the rest of the tour dates real quick, without dates attached, just to the cities. If you haven't listened for a while and you want to know where I'm coming, I'm doing Providence, Rhode Island, Portland, Oregon, not Maine. Shout out to Maine. Not going there yet. Too far, but also I'm down. Let's do it. And then Seattle, Brea, which is Orange County, San Antonio, Austin, Panama City, Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida, Houston, Dallas, DC, Chicago, San Diego, and Sunnyvale, which is near San Jose. So that's all I got, man. Can't wait to see you guys. And we're here. As you can see, I got a haircut. No hat, baby. We're back. I feel like I was wearing a hat so much people could think I was maybe balding. Who knows, dude? Because guys who wear hats, it's like, what's under there, you know? What's really going on there? What are you hiding from us? But I was just a guy who didn't want to get a haircut until his tour started. And that makes no sense because I was still doing shows, so many shows per week. I was wearing a hat. Wasn't the best look. But I got a haircut. And it's my first haircut in like 3 months. And you know how there's an option in Ubers to do like the quiet mode, which if you're sliding that over to quiet, kind of like a little bit fuck you for doing that, because it's like, so I don't know, man. We all want to hit don't talk to me, but like if you actually hit that, it's like, oh, I don't know, dude. No one wants to be talked to, but if you make it a point to be like don't talk to me, it's just it's like you're the help, you know? In your driving a Corolla, like you're the help. No, dude, it's fine. If you want to talk to me, I will talk to you back. That's the deal I've brokered here. Instead of taking a yellow taxi that's twice the price, you got to get talked to sometimes in a Prius. Is what it is, you know. But in an Uber, there's that option. I wish you could select that option for haircuts. Because I would love to just sit in silence and get chopped up. I've been going to the same woman who cuts my hair for years, and she's dope, right? She's not annoying at all. She rocks. But I know she'd want the quiet mode too. We both feel obligated in these moments to ask each other questions and be nice humans, right? But I feel like neither of us want to do it. She asked me if I was watching any cool movies or TV shows. I'm like, that's such a thoughtful question, but like, we both don't care. I almost wanted to be like, hey, it's okay. We could just sit here. We don't have to talk about Shogun. You could just hit me with the zrap, 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 zrap. I'll just watch in silence. I don't need to give you my thoughts on the new Roadhouse movie. That's all I want to hear. The place I go to, they do they offer you with the cut you can get a straight razor shave on your neck, which I don't opt to do because, dude, you ever see those scenes in movies where they're shaving people with a straight razor like this on their neck? That shit freaks me out. Straight razor, I'm too vulnerable. Because you got me arms trapped in, Jedi cloak on, right? Buzzing me. Oh, what'd you think of the ending of Succession? I thought it was pretty good. I liked the show. And the straight razor feels so vulnerable because we've all seen those movies, bro. You could sink, you know what I mean? Just a little sink, and then your life's different. Sink. I don't want that. Yeah, the straight razor shave, and also they get like a neck massage. They have this like hand massager thing that massages you on the shoulders, and that's a part of what you pay for. But I always am like, please don't. I've known you for too long. Don't massage me. It to me, it's like the same thing of, it's not the same thing of picking the quiet mode, but it's still just like the same air of like, yes, now massage me, please. Yes, yes, that feels nice. Yes, deeper, right side now. It's like, dude, I've known you for years. You don't have to massage my back. Too weird. I always tell her, I'm like, can you imagine if I said yes to the massage? That's crazy. And people do. And maybe I should, because I'm paying for that. But it's not who I am. It's not who I am. Dude, yeah, the tour starts this week, and it's really exciting, man. I'm locked in. I don't know what else to say. I've been working my little butt off, getting ready, tightening up the material, working on, refining any new jokes that'll be in there, and it's just, I'm really, really confident and feeling really good, man. Locked in's a good word for it. But I do find myself a little bit like, when Friday comes, the first show, it's like, and by the way, once that hits, we are like off and running. There's very few weeks, I don't think there's like a more than a 2-week period that I have off through the, until October. And so it's a little nerve-wracking. It's a little like, I'm even saying it out loud now. Even now I feel myself being like, whoa, dude, here we go again, But I feel like I'm coming into this tour with just such a different and better perspective and a healthier perspective. I think this last month I've, done zero traveling, which I think has been really good for me. Because I've really just got to work on myself as a person and really tap into gratitude, It's because it's like I'm living the dream life right now, and I want to grow, but just for what this is, it's like, I got to enjoy this ride, man. I got to enjoy this journey and this part. And there's moments that'll kind of make it click for me. Like even Kaylee said something a few weeks ago. She said something like, I can't believe that people just buy tickets to see just you. Like just you, and that's it. Like you're not a part of a band, you're not a part of a group, you're not a duo. It's just for you, to hear you talk. That's like, fuck, man, that's so true. That's crazy. And I'm just a guy. I'm just like one of your buddies. And I've just worked, for 10 years at this skill, and now people will pay to see me show off the skill. It's crazy. And I know I've said this before, but I spent, over half the shows last year, I probably got off stage. Not probably, I did get off stage and just be like, ugh, that sucked. And I killed, and I remember sitting there just being like, nah, that was whatever. And those are the moments I need to change. I need to realize that, I'm telling myself this really, because this podcast is essentially just a diary in a way. A diary is real close to diarrhea, huh? What's that about? And so I'm just telling myself really to just enjoy those moments and know that no show will be perfect. And once you know that, then everything will be okay. But I'm feeling really, really good, man. And I'm trying not to hype up, at least Friday much, hype it up too much. I have a lot of friends that are going to be there, and I'm just trying to like treat it like any other show. It's just another show that I'm doing, a 50-minute set. So feeling excited, and just thinking more about just what type of special I would want to put out. I've talked about the idea of putting out kind of like a 7, 8, 9-minute special. But with all the stuff that happened with that recorder joke and the Dave Attell thing, it's like it's making me having to kind of rework that idea, because I don't, again, like I talked about a few episodes ago, I had this whole through line of the recorder joke, and people are gonna it's very close. It's not close. It's just the fact that Dave Attell named his special "Hot Cross Buns" really takes the wind out of that idea for me, and so I'm trying to figure it out, man. I've really been thinking about what it would look like if I actually just dropped a full special, and what that would look like, and when I would do it, and how. And like I was even talking to the booker of Flappers, who I'm buddies with at this point, and he asked me genuinely, he was like, if Netflix came to you and was like, we want to do a special with you, first, would you feel ready? And B, would you say, yes? And first of all, I was like, yes, I do feel like I'm ready. And I don't know if I would say yes, which is insane to think about. I would want it. I know what the special is. I think it's going to be 35 minutes, and I feel like they wouldn't maybe want that, and even if they wouldn't, that's okay. Because these are ideas I've said before, but these are new thoughts that I'll share after. Is I feel like it's like YouTube has just the biggest reach. There's no There's no wall in front of you. You don't have to log in to anything. You don't have to search for it. It's just there, and you have access to all the numbers, the analytics. You can monetize it and make money, or try to at least break even for the production cost. Because the production alone to shoot like a really nice special, bro, it could be $10,000-$20,000 for real, depending on how you do it. And so just think about it being on Netflix. It's like, even if you get like the best possible push on Netflix, let's say you make top 10, you are on the homepage, dude, after that week or two, it's like gone. It's buried amongst all the other specials, especially for a guy like me. It'd be like, Chappelle, Seinfeld, Burr, all these people, Mulaney. It's like, these guys all have Netflix specials. You think Netflix is going to promote mine over Mulaney's special? No. And so you're going to have to search for it. You got to type in what's his last name? What is it? How do you spell it? Buckrat? What is it? And for that reason, I feel like I'm on Shark Tank. For that reason, I'm out. The fact that they have to be like, I like on YouTube just feels, it's easier to find. There's no barrier. And I think that's the future of stand-up, I think. And so it's cool, man. I feel like I've figured out what the special would be. It's, this 35 minutes, that will be what the tour will be for the most part, depending on the city, because I will probably sub in a couple of newer jokes just to make sure you get a fresh show. But yeah, it's funny. I even found myself even planning out the next one. So it's like a few jokes that wouldn't make the cut for this one. I've already moved to the next one, and then have just a whole list of jokes that I've had in my back pocket that I don't do really at this point. And so I have this whole other chunk, this whole other probably half hour of jokes. And it's such a good feeling knowing that if I drop that first special, it's like the next one I already have a framework of it. I've already have, in there, it's 80% of jokes that I've done. They work to an extent. Now I need to make them better. I need to take them to from a 7 and an 8 to a 9 to a 10, right? And then there's a handful of maybe other newer jokes that I feel really good about but need more work. But I think just having the two specials like in my head is really nice, because when you put out a special, you burn that material. It's fucking terrifying. You're like, I got to start over. And I think the half-hour model is also better for that reason, because it's not as daunting to start over. You don't have to write a whole new hour of jokes. You can do another 30. And so I think that's just such a more sustainable model. I think that makes more sense for culture nowadays. And so it's cool, man. I'm really excited. It's funny where the business is at now, because my agent, I had a call with her last week, and she was basically asking like, how much interest do you have in late night? Whether it's Tonight Show, Seth Meyers, Kimmel, and it's weird to be like, I don't know how much interest I have in that. And I've talked about Don't Tell Comedy before. Those guys are doing amazing things. I don't think anyone who has a better reach for stand-up right now, they have the biggest audience. And so if I were to do some sort of set, I would want it to be with them. And I think you could probably do both. But I don't know, man. I'm very precious about what material I have out there. And especially with this kind of the whole, Dave Attell's special thing. Again, it's the late night set that I had before, it was the same thing. It had the through line of the recorder joke, and now I feel like I can't make the whole thing about that. I need to change it to some other through line, some other theme that takes us through the whole 5 minutes. And so I was kind of like, I need to figure out what that would be. I need to figure out the newer version of what that could be. And I'm finding myself dragging my feet, and I don't know if it's laziness, but there's no drive in me that's like, I got to figure out what this new 5-minute late night set would be. Because I don't know, I'm just, something's not clicking with me. And I think it'd be a dream come true to do the Tonight Show and meet Jimmy Fallon. I think that would be unbelievable. But there's some weird, and I'm a very driven person. You guys know this by now. I'm incredibly self-sufficient, and I have crazy work ethic and discipline. But for some reason, the whole late night thing, I just can't get myself to put work into that or be excited for it right now. And I think if it was a Don't Tell option, I'd be a lot more excited, because the jokes would just live better on that platform. But yeah, I think it's good that I'm talking about this, treating this as a diary, because now it's reminding myself that I should put in more work into this. I should pursue these things and be ready. But there's also a part of me that's like, fuck it, let me just put out my special at like the end of next year. That'll be 10, 11 years of stand-up. That's about the right time. I think Shane Gillis put out his first special like 10 years in, and that special did crazy numbers. Granted, he may have been a little bigger than me at that point. I'm not really sure, but there is a part of me that's like, fuck it. Let me just ride out this year, keep rocking, keep posting clips, sprinkle in some jokes, build the following even more, and then just drop a special. Fuck it. And and no one's ever seen those jokes before, which is super powerful too. Because if I did a don't tell set, those jokes would definitely live on the special. I would not want to fuck around with that. I would want to bring my A game. And so I would consider that almost like a trailer for the special, like an EP. Like there's 30 songs, there's 35 songs, and here's 7 of them. Here's 8 of them. I like talking about this stuff, man. It's cool for me because now it really is a good like way to get my thoughts together, because I am thinking about it more now, and I'm gonna put some more work into it. I'm feeling excited. This is good. I like that we're doing this. Thanks for having me. Dude, I'm going to take a sip of water. Oh, spilled. Spilled if you're watching. Spilled on my red locker thing. That is dust-free. Shout out to the cleaners. Actually, not dust-free. There's some dust already. God damn it. What is dust? Where does it come from, dude? Get out of here. Okay, so fun little Hollywood story for you. So I did a show at the Hollywood Improv, which is one of the big 3 clubs in LA, and I was in the small room, which seats about 50, 55 people, which is where I'm doing the Netflix show. Shout out. And I'm headlining the show, going last, and I get on stage, and one of the first things I notice is in the front, very close to me, and I'm like pretty sure, it's one of the guys from the Chainsmokers. And I had kind of been up in the green room, not really paying attention to the show much. I was kind of just locking in and doing my own thing, aka watching basketball highlights. and so I didn't know if this had been addressed yet. So I see him, and if you know the Chainsmokers or don't, the guy's name's Alex, and he was there. And I didn't know his name, by the way. I just knew he was in the Chainsmokers. And so I'm on stage being like, in my head being like, do I address this? Do I talk about this, or do I just try to kill it in front of a Chainsmoker? Cool thing, right? And I'm doing pretty well up top, 3-4 minutes into my set. I think I'm doing 10, 12. And I'm finally like, hey, are you in the Chainsmokers? And he's like, yeah. I was like, cool. It felt like I was on the, you remember the Chris Farley show? That sketch on SNL where he would just have on very famous people like Paul McCartney, and he'll be like, you remember the Beatles? That was cool. Stupid. I felt like that on stage. I was like, you're in the Chainsmokers, huh? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's so cool. And so I wish I knew that he was there beforehand, because I would have almost planned a few things to say or a few riffs to do, but I didn't know he was there until I was on stage. So I had that moment of like, how do I make this funny? How do I address this? And the thought I had, what I was trying to communicate was, the question I was going to ask him was, oh, do you still do Chainsmokers with the other guy? Because if not, like, what's up? I can jump in, And that was the kind of a stupid joke I was going to make to him. And before I even finished that thought, I was like, do you still do Chainsmokers with the other? And I hear from the back of the room, yo! And it's, dude, the other guy, Drew, is in the back of the room. Both Chainsmokers. And I was like, what'd you guys get into a fight before the show? Why are you guys not sitting together? And so I did a couple jokes, blah, 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 and then continued on to my set. I had a specifically good set. I don't like saying that I crushed or I killed. I don't like saying that. I feel like that's for other people to say. But I definitely did very, very, very well. Very happy with it. And so I end my set, and I reach over, I dap up Alex, the guy in the front. I do the cool bow, bow. Walk off, and everyone's like, oh shit, good. I'm like, yeah. And as people are like, hey, you're the best comedian I've ever seen. I'm like, yeah, cool. No, I'm just kidding. I want to say hi to the other guy, the guy Drew, and I was like, I gotta meet both Chainsmokers, I need to meet Chain and also Smoker. And I see him, and I feel like now that people knew that they were there, people were kind of like, And so as I was leaving, I was really trying to meet him, and he was in the middle of like leaving and talking to someone, and I just reached over someone else to grab him on his shoulder and be like, hey. And he immediately was like, oh, dude. and he like brought me in for like a big hug, and like cheek to cheek hug. My cheek has not touched many other cheeks in my life. Probably maybe 10 cheeks. One of the Chainsmokers is one of the cheeks. And he was like, dude, and before they brought me on stage, they said, oh, he has the show on the Netflix festival. It's sold out, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, yo, man, like, congrats on the show. It's so cool. Like, hope to see you again. And I was like, yeah, man. Yeah. And I was like, big fan. Couldn't tell you one song. Big fan. Which, by the way, you look at, you're like, what songs do the Chainsmokers have? You listen to their top 5 on Spotify. You're like, oh, these are only the biggest songs of the last 3-5 years. The biggest songs. And that was it. And then I left, and I drove home. And it's the weirdest moment to be back home after that experience. Like, crazy good set, met the Chainsmokers. They were cheek to cheek with one of them. And I'm just home. And I'm like, all right, just gonna watch TV? Just gonna sit on the couch and turn on the Roku? Like, what the fuck? It's such a weird life. I was just so like wired. It's so hard to calm down after this. That's why I like to smoke weed, because it's like it calms me way down, shuts me down, because it's such a high. It was so cool, man. Did I hit them both up on Instagram? I did. Did one of them get back to me and follow me? Yeah, dude. Alex, shout out. We're kind of friends now. I invited him to my show on Friday, and he was like, he said, thanks, but I'll be in China. I was like, cool. That's cool. I wrote back. I think I wrote back. I said, fuck, that's a cool excuse. So basically what I'm trying to say is I'm in the Chainsmokers now. It was just a good week, man. I had family in town. I had my sister, my brother-in-law, and my 2 nephews in town from Minneapolis. They went to Disneyland, and then they popped up to LA and hung out for 2 nights. And it was so great seeing them. They're my favorite people. We had a sushi dinner planned on Friday night, and I had a buddy reach out, funny enough, who runs shows with Don't Tell Comedy, and he was like, "Hey, do you have a spot tonight?" And I was like, "Fuck, no." And I, in my head, I'm like, I can't do a spot tonight. Seeing them is very important to me. And I was like, no, I don't have a spot. And he said, oh, well, do you want to do this show in Orange County? Levity is going to be there. And Levity is, it's a company, Levity Live. They own all the Improvs, which are big comedy club chains. And they are like the biggest management, I'd say one of the biggest management companies in stand-up. So he was like, they're going to be there. And I already have a manager, and I already have an agent, obviously. And I don't know much more, like what another person would do for me. I think in terms of stand-up, my agent can kind of get me anything. In terms of touring, in terms of like the late night stuff, it's kind of all her. And so I had to turn down the show, which was really hard to do, because I couldn't imagine a world where I just bailed on them and did this show for something that I don't even know what it's going to get me. But dude, it was tough. Some would say I'm growing up. I am choosing the right things in life. I am balancing my life. And some other people would be like, guess you don't want it bad enough. And I just think I had I couldn't live with myself if I was just like, yeah, I'm going to go do a show, have fun at dinner. I definitely don't regret the decision at all, because seeing them was so great, and it's family's so important to me that, I do wonder though what would happen if I went and crushed in front of them, and what the alternate timeline would look like. I'd love to see the Rick and Morty episode of the alternative timeline had I gone to the show, and see what happens. That whole idea, by the way, like the butterfly effect is such an interesting concept to me, that if you like one little decision can have a huge impact on your life. Even just in a parking lot on your phone, waiting 5 minutes before you leave could like change your life forever. It's pretty crazy. Even the idea of, like, Kaylee and I met on Bumble during the pandemic, right? And Bumble is such a what's the word? Like, I want to say transient. I want to say it's just such a like you're in the flow of just moving through people. You're just no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. And obviously I saw her picture and was like, yeah, you know, yeah. But I'm thinking like, dude, what if I accidentally said no? Because on that dating app, there's no oops option. I think you have to maybe pay for that or something like that, but there's no oops option. And so how fucking crazy is that? Like Kaylee, who will, who's like my soulmate. Can you imagine if I oopsed? Oh, swipe no. Oh well, back to this. Never would have met her. How crazy is that? What could be the mother of my children? I could have been like, oops, that's crazy. I'm growing up, dude. I'm making good decisions for myself. Had a great dude on Saturday. We walked around Silver Lake, which is a neighborhood of Los Angeles, and we were walking around. I did some clothes shopping, and I know I'm not the only one who thinks this, but every 6 months, I hate everything that's in my closet. I have so many cool shirts, so many cool jackets, but every few months, I look in my closet and I'm like, this looks like a sale rack at an Urban Outfitters. You ever look at a sale rack at an Urban? You're like, yeah, no shit, this shirt's $8. Has one sleeve and the nipples cut out. Who's wearing this? Every 6 months, I feel like I need a style reinvention, which I'm only partially to blame because style changes so fast and so quickly. Like skinny jeans, gone. Fast. Skinny jeans are out, bell bottoms in. I don't know if it's just me, but I can't get into the super baggy pants. I see some of the shit Drake is wearing, for example, guys like him, NBA players, and I'm like, bro, this looks awful. It just looks bad. It's not even like a boot cut. It's like you're playing hide and go seek with your Nikes. I did buy my first pair of non-skinny jeans recently, and I was all skinny jeans. I was Captain Skinny Jeans. Because my pants, my legs are so skinny that pants that fit look like they're cutting off the circulation. I remember one time years ago, Bobby Lee said that my jeans were butt fucking tight. Style just changes so fast. That's partially why I never get rid of any clothes, because I know something will come back around. Like I remember early last year, I was really into cargo pants. And once the summer hit, I was like, I'll burn all these cargo pants. I will never wear them again. I won't be caught dead wearing all these pockets. But now, I didn't get rid of them, thankfully, because now that we're back a year later, I'm all in our cargo pants, bro. Give me the pockets. Call me Lieutenant Burkart. I'm all pockets. More pockets, the better. Now I'm at that point. You need chapstick? Bottom right pocket. You need some loose change? Back left. Actually, front left. I don't even know which one. I'm getting lost in the pockets. You're going to catch me in cargo pants on tour, bro. You're going to catch me in my first pair of non-skinny jeans and cargo pants. I'm stylish. But I'm not going to do the super, super baggy shit. I'm just not going to do it. There's got to be some wiggle room. In those pants, you get too much wiggle room. I don't wiggle that much. Medium wiggle. Fuck am I talking about? Dude, that's all I got today. That's really all I got. This was fun. Always is fun. Again, LA this Friday. Next week, Sacramento, San Francisco. And then Rhode Island, and then Portland, Seattle. Dude, can't wait. Can't wait to get back out there. I've never been better. I've never been more confident in my abilities as a comic. And I'm just stoked, man. I can't wait to see you guys. If you're a podcast person, listener, fan, let me know in the meet and greet line. Which, by the way, I do meet and greets at all the shows. Just to clarify that. All for free. There's no VIP shit. Everybody can come meet me. So just tell me if you're a podcast listener, because I would love to know that. Because we're an indie group. We're under the radar right now. We're a cult following. So let me know, and please subscribe to the channel. It helps me a ton. I would really appreciate that. Spread the word. If you know anyone who's a fan of stand-up and wants to hear the behind the scenes of what it's like to be a comic, it's like, send them this shit, man. They're only a half hour. It's pretty listenable, you know? Anyways, you guys are the best. Please subscribe, and come see the shows, dude. Leave comments. I love when you guys leave comments. Have a good rest of the week, and I'll talk to you later.